Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, which has never been active before. I opened this channel like a year ago before I went on my big trip to South America, and I really, in the beginning, I planned to create like a lot of Jewish travel content type of, long form videos. I wanted to diversify from what I usually do on Instagram and TikTok, and then immediately, the moment I got to Argentina, I realized, yeah. I can't do that. Let's just focus on having fun and enjoying my time and being present in like the moment. But I do want to get it up and running. I saw only bits and pieces from Bill Maher's recent show with Ana Kasparian, one of the most detestable people online right now. And it was funny. And I wanted to see the entire thing. And I figured, okay, let's just react to this. Let's just do it.
You do get to a point where, and I think on a lot of issues, I'm at that point where you're just sick of the BS on both sides, right? And you want to cut through all of it. And look, honestly, you're never going to get to the truth if you're only relying on partisan media. And that's
From the get-go, like I can't take her seriously. I don't know how anyone can. She's Armenian, working for the Young Turks. It's as biased as it can get. They all they do is spread propaganda, the same propaganda that you see echoing in Qatari and Turkish media outlets. It's just come on, Anna. You're as partisan as it gets.
what I was doing. I was very much in a bubble. I didn't
what
realize I was in a
what
bubble. So
what's
now it's like I have to eat my vegetables.
Uh, Before you get to the vegetables part, you're still in a bubble, Anna. You are the bubble.
Yeah.
and
You
when
want to
I
talk about a little bit of
when
truth
I
and gossip
see
then?
and
You want to get exhilarated right now?
Let it be known, she brought it up herself. She was the one that brought this topic up. She's the one that put herself in that mess. Let's see how Bill Maher handles that.
I
I
can
mean, I
exhilarate
know
you.
you're going to say genocide, and I'm going to say, well, you don't know what the word means. And it's like, if you don't even know what the words mean,
I'm Armenian. I know what the word means.
right?
Come on, she did the same thing. I don't know if you guys watched it was on the Piers Morgan show. He brought Anna and Emily Schrader, shout out, love Emily, uh, to debate. And then Anna kept saying, like, I know what genocide means. I'm Armenian. And mind you, she's speaking to Emily Schrader, a Jewish woman, telling her, oh, I know what genocide is because I'm Armenian. Believe me, Anna, Emily knows what genocide is. You don't need to tell her twice.
Yeah.
Okay, it's when you try to wipe out an entire
Yeah.
population of people, which they didn't come close to doing.
I mean,
They prosecuted a war in which they were attacked, which everybody gets to do.
which, by
It's,
the way, let me just say, if they were literally going after Hamas,
which they
that is
were.
legitimate. That's totally legitimate. But that's not what's happening.
Hamas hides in tunnels underneath hospitals. You
So
can't go at
hold on.
Hamas is
But
the
Bill,
bad guy. If you don't get that,
no,
you don't
Hamas.
get much.
What Hamas did on October 7th was disgusting. Killing.
I I just I love Bill Maher. He's one of my favorite media people that exist in this world. He's just first of all, I love how nonchalant he is, sipping on whatever they're drinking, smoking his cigar. Uh, It's just and also thank you, Anna. Thank you for stating the obvious. Thank you for saying what we've been saying for years now. Thank you for admitting that Hamas is disgusting. Yes, invading a country, invading villages, going into people's homes, burning families alive, murdering families in front of each other, kidnapping 250 people, torturing them, starving them to death in terror tunnels underground for 2 years. Yes, that's disgusting. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Where have you been all of our life? Just pathetic.
I mean, I don't
Or-
make it. I don't at all hold back on that. In fact,
Well,
there
that's
are.
the easiest thing in the world to say.
I mean,
Nobody
I
disagrees.
agree. There are
Nobody
people.
disagrees
There
that
are people who disagree. Actually,
raping babe. Yes, there are.
there are people who
And they're on
think I'm
college camp.
wrong because Hamas.
Right.
They're freedom fighters.
The fact,
what kind of freedom are we talking about
the fact
here?
that people see Hamas, the people who hate oppression so much, are on the side of the people. And it's not just Hamas. If you social justice warriors, if you have any other issue besides gender apartheid in the world that is above that, you're just a joke. That if you hate oppression, there is one issue which should be above all because it affects more people, hundreds of millions of women who have basically no freedom in the Muslim world.
Right. So we should slaughter them instead, which
we
is what's been
shouldn't
happening.
They always do that. Guys, this is such a classic pro-Palestinian like tactic, talking point. Like they always do that whenever anyone mentions anything negative about the Muslim world, the Arab world, Palestinian society, saying any criticism about jihadism, Islamism, terror, the treatment of women and gay folks, and the anti-Semitism in Palestinian society. The first thing they said, "Oh yeah, so you're just killing all of them. That's your response." No one is saying that. No one has ever said that. They always do that. They always like deflect whenever we talk about something like real issues in the Arab world and Palestinian society. They always deflect and try to make you the extremist, only for calling out things that are awful and should be called out. Oh no, so you just want to slaughter all of them. No. It, it's such a classic tactic. They do it all the time.
Well, you should prosecute a war to the end.
Mm-hmm.
That does involve slaughter of every war. You know.
I think. Listen, civilians get killed in wars. I think everyone knows that. Everyone acknowledges that.
Especially when you especially when you hide behind them.
But when 83%, according to the IDF's own data, and this is reported. By the way, I consume Israeli media on this. I don't consume American media on this. And Israeli media is super honest, way more honest than our media is. So when the IDF's own data indicates that 83% of the people that they've killed are civilians.
Because they hide behind them.
But Bill.
This is also not true, by the way. I don't exactly know which source she used, but that's definitely not this figure.
Do you understand that?
I'm not going to be surprised if she ends up saying, "Oh yeah, it's that said that." Come on.
By killing so many civilians, they are essentially multiplying extremism.
I do understand that. Do you understand that there's very often in the world two very bad choices, and you only?
I mean, I'm an American. I have to vote in presidential elections. Yes, I do know that.
Okay, you don't have the good choice. You have the bad choice and the even worse choice. Israel has been being attacked by Hamas. First of all, the entire Arab world rejected them for 75 years. They kept trying to make a deal. They kept saying, no, we want it all. That's what from the river to the sea means. It means we want it all. We don't want a compromise. They've never wanted a compromise. Israel gave Gaza back.
But did
Gave
Bill,
it back.
But Bill,
In
let's say our country was occupied by Mexico, right? We have a bunch of people who are occupying our land, and then they decide,
well,
you know what, we're going to leave. Hold on, let me finish.
They weren't occupying
Let me
it.
finish. Let's say Mexico.
I know exactly what she's going to say. She's going to say, "Oh, Israel occupied Palestine," just like this very stupid analogy where Mexico occupies the United States. There was no state of Palestine for Israel to occupy. It was never a sovereign nation in any borders of the land. But yeah, go ahead, Ana.
Mexico decides, you know what, we're going to leave, but we're going to control their electricity, what goes in, what comes out.
Because they were attacking
We're going to
them.
mow the lawn and just like randomly decide we're going to slaughter people because they allegedly.
Randomly. Israel just goes to war, every once in a while, wasting manpower, sacrificing soldiers, endangering civilians randomly just because we want to slaughter Palestinians. That's such a ridiculous claim. Her entire thought process is just completely backwards. And it's something that I see a lot with the pro-Palestine movement. There's no like perception of cause and effect. It's like it doesn't exist. They can't acknowledge that whatever limitations Israel put on Gaza after we pulled out was not because we just wanted to put these limitations on as a tactic or like just to oppress them for no reason, right? It's a reaction to the actions of Gaza, of Hamas in Gaza. They started shooting rockets all the way back in the early 2000s. Even before we pulled out, there was already terror coming out of Gaza. She tries to paint it like there's I don't know, that like one day we woke up, we decided we want to slaughter all these people.
It's like randomly decide we're gonna slaughter
Because
people because
be-
they allegedly threw rocks.
be,
That's also something they do all the time. They say, oh, Israel is this big power with nuclear weapons and they're fighting against oppressed people with rocks. Rocks. We, if it was rocks, we wouldn't have needed the Iron Dome. We wouldn't have needed an anti-missile system. How about rockets? Talking about rocks. Throwing bombs at civilians aimlessly. Talking about rocks?
Have literally
well, they
nuclear.
didn't allegedly.
I mean, Israel has nuclear weapons, Bill. They have nuclear
and
weapons.
they don't, and
They
that's
have the world's
right.
She seems so worried.
military superpower backing them.
Right. Well, they have nuclear weapons which they don't use. If Hamas had
No, they don't use it, but
just
to pretend
if
like
if Hamas had a nuclear weapon, how many seconds would it take before they used it on Israel?
I have no idea.
Three.
I love Bill. He's so sharp. So sharp. 3.
Is the answer. 3 seconds.
How do you know that, Bill? Come on.
Because it's in their charter.
If they used a nuclear weapon against Israel, I'm pretty sure the very land that
okay.
Hamas cares about
Yes.
would be done for.
Okay.
How do we know that? Maybe because they keep saying it. They keep saying their charter says it, first of all, that, the world peace or whatever their perception of world peace is will not come until Muslims fight Jews and kill all Jews. That's in their charter. Let's begin with that. Their founding document. It states exactly their goal. And also they keep saying it. Right after October 7th, they were interviewed, right? Ghazi Hamad, the Hamas spokesperson. And he said, yeah, we will commit October 7th again and again and again. So how do we know that? They tell us. We just believe them. You choose to not listen, or I don't know. I don't even know.
They'd be done
then
for.
they would be martyrs, and that would be a good thing, because that's their death cult view of the world. It's a good thing when you die. That's why they strap suicide vests sometimes on children. The fact that you can't see the moral difference between these two sides always amazes me among people.
I actually don't see the moral difference when you have like Bezalel Smotrich and Ben Gvir literally talking about exterminating the entire population of Gaza.
Again, they always bring up these two politicians in Israel. It's like I can just predict everything that she's gonna say, regardless of whether she's right or not about what they're saying about exterminating the Palestinians. That's not exactly what they're saying. Yes, they are right wing, but anyway, it's not a policy of Israel to exterminate Palestinians. If it was, the war would be over on October 8th. Whereas Hamas or even the Palestinian Authority, it is their stated goal and policy to make life impossible for Jews on the at best, at worst, to kill all of us.
Okay,
I
they're
mean,
not
I just
talking about
and these are not. They are. I mean, the statements are brazen. They're upfront. They're honest. This is what they
okay.
actually want to do.
Well,
I mean, the West Bank
considering
is another
it's
example.
in
The
Hamas,
West Bank had nothing to do with
but
what
that's
happened on October 7th, but they're annexing that land anyway. They're raining.
Annexing. Which part of the West Bank was annexed throughout the war? The answer is none.
Terror on innocent people, innocent Palestinians. They're driving them out of their homes. Like, listen, I am willing to admit, because it's the truth, that what Hamas did on October 7th was a fucking atrocity.
oh wow,
Killing innocent people.
Who couldn't admit that?
But you have a difficult time at least acknowledging the atrocities that have been committed against innocent civilians in Gaza.
Well, it depends on what you call an atrocity. All wars are going to have
A
atrocities.
double tap on a hospital?
All
That's also it's amazing. It's all the same things, the same stuff over and over again. Trying to make this equation between you know, condemning the atrocities committed by Hamas versus condemning alleged atrocities by Israel, saying we're somewhere comparable to Hamas when Hamas's stated goal and main in like goal of October 7th was to kill as many people as possible, when Israel goes lengths to put civilians out of harm's way. These two are not comparable, and they always try to make this equation just so disingenuous.
war.
A double tap on a hospital? So when the first responders show up?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I vaguely remember the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, she's talking about probably Al Shifa Hospital or any other hospital that was used by Hamas to store rockets, to smuggle the hostages. These are the hospitals she's talking about. But they will never mention how Hamas used them, used civilian infrastructure as a military base, as a I don't know. They found shafts going down to the tunnels from hospitals, from mosques, from schools, from children's rooms, children's bedrooms. They found shafts going down to the tunnels, but they will never talk about that. And by the way, if we want to get legal about this, according to international law, Geneva Convention, if a civilian building infrastructure is being used for military purposes, that automatically makes it a valid military target. Go on.
First of all, that's an old terrorist trick. That's what they do all the time.
Okay, but are you at least going to acknowledge that the IDF doing that was wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure they have committed what we would call war crimes, as every army does in every war.
Right, including our own, right?
In every war, including the Civil War. I forget who it was who made the good point. Like, during the Civil War, a lot of people would say, especially in the South, that Sherman did not have to burn Atlanta quite as badly as he did. I mean, we were pretty brutal. But would you also then just say, well, we don't know who the good guys were in that war? No, I think it was the North. I think that they committed the atrocity in Atlanta. Yeah, that's true. They burned when they shouldn't, and they were very rough on the South.
Notice what Bill just did here, and that's genius. She tried to deflect. She brought up, oh yeah, but every army, you know, the Israeli army committed war crimes. The American army committed war crimes. She tried to deflect from, you know, Hamas's war crimes. What Bill did is take exactly what she said and put it in her face so that she sees her double standards, because clearly there's one side in the American Civil War that was good and one side that was not. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant tactic. Way to go, Bill.
They were still the good guys. They were fighting against slavery as Israel is fighting to survive. And also, you know, they are the front line in the Western world.
I totally disagree with you on this entirely. Well, I think much of the problems we have in the Middle East is due to the enabling of This look, it's an expansionist policy. If Israel wasn't trying to continue expanding in the Middle East,
so
I don't think they would be dealing with the enmity, like the enemies that they're dealing with.
What are you talking about, Anna? When was the last time Israel expanded into a territory that wasn't its own? You know, unprovoked. Let's say it like this. Since the 1967 war, we only gave up more land. It's important to note.
They've never been trying to expand.
They're trying to annex the West Bank right now, and Lebanon, southern Lebanon, and Syria, which they've succeeded in.
No one is trying to annex any part of Lebanon. The lies, the lies, the lies.
They're all places that they were attacked from. When they became a country in 1947, they said, okay, we will accept half a loaf. They had as much right to that land as anybody. There was a continual presence there since 1000 BC when King David had a kingdom.
I don't care about that at all.
Okay, but
of course they don't care. Of course the pro-Palestinians don't care that Israel goes back all the way to the 11th century BC. Of course they don't care, because it doesn't serve their narrative, and they don't actually care about indigenous rights. They only care about destroying Israel and, again, making life miserable for Jews. They will not succeed.
But it's relevant.
But you can't.
It's relevant to people. It's relevant
to wipe out innocent people because you used to live there like centuries ago.
You're calling them colonizers. They're not colonizers.
They're expanding and they're annexing land.
Excuse me, just let me finish one sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
They could have turned Gaza into a state that was much more like, I don't know, Dubai or something, if they wanted to. They didn't. Hamas took over right away. They never had elections after that. You're
right about that. You're right about the elections,
They're a terrorist mafia. Their own population is terrorized by them. They don't like them. All they did was import weapons from Iran, build tunnels, and use it to prosecute this war against Israel. They never used it. So, of course, Israel is going to be defensive. Their issue was they were not defensive enough, which is why October 7th happened.
So you're making good points. I'm going to concede to some of them. Not all of them.
I want to see. Wait, I want to say that again.
Good points.
Bill's
I'm going to
reaction.
concede to some of them. Not all of them. But.
Oh, I don't even know why you want to.
She can't handle simple facts. He just blasted her with so many facts that she had nothing to say.
Talk about this.
I know. I'll ask you one more question.
It's frustrating because
my problem is, okay, even if I concede entirely to everything you're saying, how about a little bit of ire directed toward Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the guy who facilitated the funding and has totally admitted to facilitating the funding of Hamas? Why did he prop up Hamas? Because
they always bring that up also. Oh, Israel created Hamas. Israel funded Hamas. It's Benjamin Netanyahu that continued funneling, money to them. And listen, I have my fair share of criticism towards Bibi, specifically about this issue where he did not funnel, like he did not fund Hamas. He did allow Qatari funding to go into Hamas. And unfortunately, I don't know what the tactic, what the strategy behind that policy was, but it clearly contributed to where we are today. But it's another way of them, the pro-Palestinian movement, to deflect from the real issue, and that is Hamas existing in the first place, and that is Qatari funding and Iranian funding and training of Hamas militants with a very specific goal of destroying Israel. So then she puts the blame on Netanyahu. She's right to bring it up. She is. It's a valid criticism. But to make it seem like it's Israel's fault, it's just pure victim blaming. There's no other way to put it.
Because he wanted to essentially discredit the PLO. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of whatabouts you can say.
But it's not a whataboutism. The very man who propped up Hamas is now saying that he needs to fight them.
I mean,
and now he's also funding Abu Shabab. Why are you funding Abu Shabab? who's also who has ties
It's
to
just
ISIS.
these things are not wrong. It just looks like you're looking for something
No, I
to
just
make a
want.
false equivalency.
This
But
is what
yet,
I want.
look,
I
I
want
get it.
Palestinians to live in their own territory. I want them to be able to govern themselves. I want Israelis to live in peace and safety.
Then
And
stop
we're
attacking
never
them.
good.
Then
No, I'm
stop
going to attack them
attacking
as
them.
long as they're doing what they're currently
They're
doing.
doing
Doing what? What did we do on October 6th that provoked Hamas's attack? Was it some sort of a resistance? Was it some sort of a reaction to something? Going into people's homes, slaughtering 1,200 people in their beds in a music festival, kidnapping? What is she even saying?
in retaliation for
It's not
being
retaliation.
attacked. Of course it is. They've been
It's not retaliation. Whatever happened after October 7th, that was not retaliation. I don't know what that was, if it wasn't retaliation.
attacked. They were encircled. Lebanon. Why are they in Lebanon? Because Hezbollah was attacking from there.
Right, in response to what they're doing in Gaza, yes.
They,
But then again, what were we doing in Gaza? There was no Israeli soldier in Gaza prior to October 7th.
well, before that, they've had 4 wars there.
Was it when they were trying to annex land from southern Lebanon that they were attacking?
They were not trying to annex.
Israel never tried to annex land from southern Lebanon. Israel was militarily controlling parts of southern Lebanon after the first Lebanon war as a defensive measure, and Israel pulled out of Lebanon in the early 2000s. So again, she's just like throwing all these lies and half-truths in the air. Whatever.
Land. They were trying to put a border between the country that was continually attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
If we were being attacked from Canada, I imagine we would want a little border between Maine and Canada.
True.
I don't think you
But while
really.
building that border, we wouldn't then
I don't know
take
where,
a little
I don't
bit
know
of
where on
southern
TikTok
Canada
you're
for
getting
ourselves.
this information.
No, it's not TikTok. I'm
But
very
it
well
is.
read on this.
Okay.
Very well read on this. I care about this issue a lot.
I see.
I do. Yeah.
Let me ask you one question, and then maybe we can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
off it. Because
Yeah, let's have
otherwise,
fun,
I
let's
just
have
want to
fun.
go.
Yeah.
I want to go have dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not interested in this.
Yeah.
Again, it's what a guy. What a guy.
It's not really what I started a podcast for. You seem
No,
to,
no,
you
I
seem,
know,
seem
I
to
know.
be itching to get to it, and now that you have, I'm not going to like back down on it because.
I don't want
And
you
I'm
to.
not Jewish, by the way.
Oh, I didn't accuse
know,
you of being Jewish. And then
accuse
it wouldn't
me.
matter if you
Accuse me of being Jewish.
were.
No, but I'm saying I do this because I think it's the right thing, and because I feel like
Yeah.
I know the history and the politics of it.
I respect your perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you
And that's the part I saw that I wanted to react to. So he's absolutely genius for bringing that up. Let's see.
got to go live in the Middle East. Where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and
Let him cook. Let him cook.
the assassinations have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could live in
I want you to see her face. Just see her face.
nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped.
I'm dying at her face. Like this frame is just amazing. She knows that she's in big trouble. She knows exactly what he's gonna ask. He's already asking it. She knows exactly why she's in trouble, and because she has nothing to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have
or
Al Qaeda terrorist leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure would make room for you.
Yeah.
By the way, she kept, going after Ahmed Ashara, and rightfully so. Not once ever have I heard her talking about the persecution, the slaughter of Druze people in South Syria. Not once. She keeps saying, "Oh, he's bad, he's bad. Al-Julani is bad, he's bad." Yeah, we all know that. We all know that he's Al-Qaeda. Why don't you talk about the people themselves? Why don't you ever, you know, mention the Druze community in South Syria. That, by the way, has shown signs of thankfulness to Israel for helping them. Why don't you mention them? She doesn't really care about human rights. That's the thing that people need to understand. She doesn't care about human rights. She doesn't care about anyone. You know, all she does is throw these accusations to the air, talk about very like nitpicking issues to talk about. She doesn't actually care about the Jewish community in Syria. She will only talk about things, bad things that happening to Palestinians by Israel, because that's the only thing that serves her narrative. But talking about how Israel helped the Druze in Syria, you know, maintain control over their areas, absolutely not.
Tel Aviv or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for like a little. In the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
Where do you think you'd be
sure-
comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not
the United
really,
States.
you're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen,
Did you just notice what she does? She keeps deflecting. She keeps, whenever someone brings up valid issues taking place in the Arab world, the only thing she knows how to do is deflect and find a way to blame Israel or the West or the whatever, the white men for doing that.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming,
blaming-
Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that
Did we
dress?
not? Did we not destabilize?
Wait a second.
We
Are
were
you
funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian
Okay,
civil war, starting
are you-
under the Obama administration.
that's why
Did
you
that
can-
not destabilize
that's-
Syria?
No, what's destabilized?
There's
let's,
a, there's
Let me tell you something, Anna. Even before the civil war in Syria, you wouldn't really be able to go down many places in Syria wearing that dress. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with what the US or the West did or did not do during the civil war in Syria.
a literal Al-Qaeda
We're
terrorist
talking
as
about
the
your
leader.
dress.
Oh,
Why?
it looks good. I know it looks
why,
good.
You're saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of Whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's
You're
what
putting
it's
words in my mouth.
Okay, great.
But
That's
the
what
United
it
States
sounded
did
like.
destabilize various
But
Middle
I
Eastern
asked about
countries.
the
Are you going to
dress,
deny that?
I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So
Another thing she will never mention is Iranian and Russian intervention in Syria that took place that definitely contributed to the destabilization of that country. Why? Because it doesn't serve her narrative of destroying the West.
is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you wear that dress? Why couldn't you walk down?
You want me to talk about
Why-
jihadism and Islam, but like,
Why won't you?
listen.
Why won't you?
I mean,
Why?
I don't
Because she's on a payroll.
believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al-Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremist religion at all.
Why can't you just
That's not
say?
what this discussion is about. This discussion is
No,
about
it's very much what it's about.
ordinary, innocent human beings that I don't want to be slaughtered,
I don't
regardless
either.
of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting wars.
It's that simple.
Stop attacking Israel, it'll stop.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't answer that question and you know that
I don't know what the question is. What's the question?
You keep doing that.
What's my question? What's your
because
question?
you don't really want to hear it.
No, go ahead. I will give you space to speak. Go ahead.
Then you will let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question was very clear. I think we all heard this, right? Where would she rather live in the Middle East?
Okay. The question is,
Mm-hmm.
if you could live anywhere,
You're right.
from North Africa all the way to, we left out Uzbekistan. You could live there, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Oh,
None of the above.
and
None of them.
or Tel Aviv.
None of them. Literally none of them.
But if you had to choose one,
Mm,
you would. So
I would not.
to you,
No,
Karachi, Pakistan, and Tel Aviv, same thing.
I would figure
Because that's
something out. But
that's
I
powerful,
definitely.
not as smart as I know you are.
She's probably the worst person to play Would You Rather with. Oh, none of the above. No, but if you had to choose one, just answer the question, for fuck's sake.
That's
I
come on.
I have.
You're going to
First of
get
all,
killed. You're
what
going to
I
get killed for that for good reason.
no, I don't.
Because yes, you are, and for good reason.
Okay, Bill,
Because
I'm Armenian. I'm Armenian. I have literal family.
I'm Armenian. I'm Armenian. Wow, she haven't mentioned the fact that she's Armenian in so long. I almost forgot.
I'm not saying I would want to live in Iran. I don't want to live anywhere in the Middle East. I want to live here in the United
if
States
you-
of America, the
I know,
greatest
but
freaking country in the world.
You're like a politician. You're avoiding the
No,
question.
I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is, if you had to pick a city, and you're not answering that question, you're doing what
I have no interest in any place in the Middle
politicians are
East.
doing and saying, I don't want to live in any of them. I want to live in America. That's not the question. The question is, if you had to pick, would you rather live in Tel Aviv? Because I promise you, you wouldn't last a week in the other places, and you could easily live in Tel Aviv. So if you don't think that speaks of a difference between cultures and civilizations, then okay, we'll leave it there. But I promise you it does. And if you had to actually do that, I think you would agree with me.
I think given my very harsh and vociferous criticisms of the Israeli government, I probably wouldn't feel so safe living in Tel Aviv right now under this government.
Well, that's
under this government.
First of all, they have free speech there, so it would not be an issue. But that is a side issue. We're not really talking about. We'll just
Bill,
say just a person, not you with your vociferous talking. Just a regular woman of your age.
I'm sure a woman of my age who grew up in the Western world would probably feel the most comfortable in Tel Aviv. I will concede that.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the most that she will give you, Bill, for that. It was awesome. It was so fun to watch because he really put her on the spot. And I think also just in the sense of getting to see all these talking points that she kept repeating. It's the classic pro-Palestine movement. That's the classic tactics that they use. Listen, you're not gonna get much from Anna. She's definitely on a payroll. She definitely has an agenda to push. She knows damn well that Tel Aviv is the safest place for her as a liberal woman, but she's not gonna say it because, you know, she has a mission. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please smash the like button, subscribe. I'll see you next time, I guess. Goodbye.